You know, I try and keep the peace and I try and avoid the conversation because it never ends well. And then I end up embarrassing everyone and people leaving dinner and
Thanksgiving dinner gets ruined.
Not even Thanksgiving, like just a dinner, just dinner.
This is about control. Everybody knows. Everyone complies. We're the kinds of pros. I don't need a plane. I just hit the road. I do what I want. I can't sell my soul. Market about to crash. This is what you chose. Ruining the country. I've been best to go. You gonna take the mark. I take never rolls. I'm a man of God. I can never fold.
Zach, you bag of dicks Grady is the intro. Here we go. All right, welcome to the... Zach, shut the fuck up.
I'm so sorry.
You're not. Never. Welcome to the Protect Your Purpose podcast, where we talk whiskey, business, friends, family, and freedom. I'm your host, Matt Marchese, and this is my bag of dicks friend and co-host, Zach Grady. And of course, I couldn't.
You threw me for a loop,
dude.
there
I
for a
couldn't
second.
possibly just end it with bag of dicks because you're such a good friend.
Oh, thank
and of
you.
course, my lovely wife, Lindy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
There it is.
I love it.
Right on cue every time. Welcome, everybody. What are we talking about today?
Hey.
First of all, oh God, what were you going to say?
I was saying, hey.
Oh, you were just that excited to say hey?
But if you like the show, you should for sure
Oh, smash that.
smash that like. No, please don't do that. But just tap it.
Don't smash anything.
You
Touch.
can just tap it.
It's a thumb.
You can tap it.
That's what-
Tap the subscribe button. Follow us on Apple. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. We're getting there.
Boom. We're getting
The
there.
socials be
Yep.
getting.
And if you Google our name,
It
Protect
comes
Your
up.
Purpose, you don't even have to put podcast. What were we going to say?
I said it comes right up.
Yeah.
It tells you all about us.
It comes right up. Anyway, babe, do that noise. I heard you doing the noise. When you like and subscribe or whatever, it does that. Yeah, kind of does something like that.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
does it?
Well, yeah.
Well,
Right?
yeah.
No.
Bing.
Didn't do that fucking noise either.
I don't know if it does a noise.
Anyway, Zach, what are we drinking today, sir?
The same as
We know what
it's
it
been
is.
the last time. Yeah.
It's Buffalo Trace. It's
It's your ride or die.
yeah.
Right, currently.
The table whiskey currently.
I'm not doing this.
Let me do this.
Yeah.
So this beautiful thing here was an anonymous gift that I posted.
So you're getting anonymous gifts.
It wasn't really anonymous. Actually, all right. So the jig is up. It's from my brother. He just sent it from the unknown sender, and there was no like label on it. He had it direct shipped to me, obviously, because it's 2023. So I posted on my Instagram or on my Facebook, hey, whoever sent this to me, and I some dramatic thing about me not liking gifts because I fucking hate gifts. Although I will accept all forms of whiskey as gifts, and I will accept it proudly and happily and with a smile. For some reason, the awkwardness that I possess and that I present when I'm presented a gift goes away with whiskey. I don't know why. It's magic. But I posted it, and then, I don't know, later that day or the next day, my brother texts me.
He's like, hey, dipshit.
No, he's like, stop being so dramatic. You know, it was me and Annette. We saw it, but it's dope as shit. It's a really awesome decanter.
Very cool.
Kind of a little
I
floating
was
globe.
starting to think like maybe people just don't have my address or something. 'Cause
No.
they're just shipping everything to Protect Your Purpose. I think you're just stealing all the gifts
No.
that our podcast is receiving.
It's
beca-
actually for all of us.
Yeah,
It's because I'm
that's
famous.
my decanter.
It's because
I'm famous.
Oh,
Yeah. It's fame, bro. When you have this level of fame.
we're 300 airs on YouTube, so
That's right. We are 300 airs. Anyhow,
about to be 400 airs.
Yeah.
these are a gift. These are my grandfather's. My grandfather used to drink whiskey. So my mother, one of the gifts that I received, my mother got these real crystal glasses from like the
don't expect
40s
gifts
or
from your
something.
mother.
It's super dope. She got them engraved and sent those. And then my brother sent this beautiful, which, truth be told, I didn't know who it was from, and I thought about giving it to you because it's until I found out it was from my brother, and I'm like,
Yeah.
sorry, bro.
Can't
It's got a little army thing inside of it. Did you see that?
Dude, yeah, I did. That's
That's
actually
dude, little
super
army
cool.
star.
Turn it to the camera.
I don't think
Maybe
you're
it's
gonna be
kinda
able
hard to
it.
see.
It's
Yeah.
hard to see.
All right.
We better drink some.
I'll post a picture, but we better drink
Make
some.
it appear.
You want some of this, honey?
Yeah.
right.
Yes, please.
Dude,
That's
the
a
day
tricky
I
pour.
got, bro,
That's
it's
a tricky pour.
The day it's a 2-hand pour. The day I got it, I was like, I think I ought to rinse it out before I fill it up.
Naturally.
Dude, it almost slipped out of my hand.
Yep.
Before I ever even took a picture of it, like it slipped and I caught it. Yeah. It was a disaster. I was going to have to post a picture, like a stock image from the website of it and be like, who sent me this beautiful
Could you send me
decanter?
another?
Yeah, I wouldn't have felt bad after I found out it was my brother, though, because whatever. Oh, it pours nicely, too.
That's cool.
That's the first pour out of it. So,
Really?
yeah, There it is.
Wow.
Here you go. You want to pour your own?
Nope.
Oh. All right.
Not because
There
I
you have
wanted
it.
you to do it. I just don't want me to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, responsibility is everything. It's tough. You don't want to take accountability for it, I see. Anyhow, so we're drinking some Buffalo Trace. We are not on 75 hard.
Oh.
We're on the program, just not that program. It's a different program. It's a different program that allows us
Just
to
the don't be a sack of shit program.
Yeah, it's on the here's the program. It's called we do 2 workouts a day. One has to be outside. We're on a diet, any diet. Okay.
Wow, this is very original.
We're drinking a gallon of water. We are also reading 10 pages a day, any time of day, any book. We have a really great book called Boys Will Not Be Boys Anymore in 2023 that we're all 3 of us are reading. And you are not allowed to drink any alcohol unless you are doing a podcast that requires you to drink whiskey. It's our own program.
It's in the bylaws.
Right.
Sure.
It's our own program.
Yeah.
We thought of it.
We thought of it all. It'll change your life. It's a life changer, people. I'm serious. Protect your purpose.
Cheers.
If you
Cheers.
want to drink, get a podcast.
Be very careful.
I was just going to say
These are
it's very
crystal
thin.
and it's very thin and they are breakable. So anyway, enjoy the whiskey. I'm excited about this.
Tastes delicious.
It's the first sip of whiskey I've had in a full ass week. So I'm excited about it. Here we go. Welcome to. Oh, it's
we don't got to do the
ASMR.
noises.
we're doing ASMR.
That's a different YouTube channel.
Cora did it the other night. She hit me with some ASMR.
ASMR. ASMS.
ASMR. Yeah.
What just happened?
It's Tourette. We think they're still looking into it. It's a possibility she has Tourette syndrome.
Oh my gosh, I was concerned.
I'm sorry,
for a
honey.
second.
Did you have something you wanted to tell everyone? Welcome to the show, honey.
Again?
Hi, thank you.
That's it. Then she
Yeah.
ducks out.
She felt fumble
Every once in a while, stutters in with something.
The fumble-aya. Anyhow, Cora hit me with some ASMR the other day. She drinks her little milk out of a sippy cup every night. I lay her in my arms. She's a giant, so it's kind of funny, you know. And she takes a big old sip of her milk out of the sippy cup and goes, hits me with one of those, and both of us, just me, her and I, started laughing hysterically because I knew what she was doing. Anyway, enough about nonsense and whiskey, which is delicious. Ooh, we do have another glass over here, Ian. Would you like to have a whiskey with us, sir?
I would love to have a whiskey with you.
Would you like me to pour it so you don't have to risk?
Oh, you already know the answer to that.
You don't have
my
to run
friend.
the risk of smashing. Listen, sorry, Kriza, we got a use out of it. This thing's definitely going to break. There's no two ways about it. We're going to end up with an American flag plaque. Because
We can find something to put in there.
yeah. We like a pen.
Yeah.
A really fancy pen or
Really
something.
long.
Yeah. But this thing is very awkwardly shaped, very fragile. But once it gets a little lighter,
It's a little more
it's
workable.
it's a little more manageable. So maybe I just fill it up to the top of the star and keep it manageable, try and preserve its life. So, Ian, get you a drink.
Try and preserve its life.
Thank you, my friend.
Of course. I'm happy we can enjoy the first drink of the year with you. This is literally our first drink of the year, right? Oh, you dirty dog. You've been on that half-ass program. She's been drinking off the podcast.
I drank one other day, and it was with your team.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
Serpro party.
We did have a Surf Pro Christmas party. It was a very awesome time.
It was.
Big shout out to Brooke and her husband Ryan, who helped every year. So here's what they do. Shout out to them. Anyway, let me finish that. Big shout out to them. Also, shout out to Travis Morgan for coming and being our game show host and he emceed.
We did Serve Pro Family Feud.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was,
Love that.
It
Yeah.
was really cool.
And Travis did the Steve Harvey host, the game show host.
The music in the back, like the music, everything
Yeah.
was really awesome.
Anyway, Brooke and Ryan put their heart and souls into our Christmas party every year, and every year it's like a theme, and they go above and beyond. It's very cool. Ryan goes as far as to literally he prepares my speech for me every year. I don't know why. I don't know how he lets me get away with that. But Brooke's husband literally prepares my slideshow. I used to give him the information, and then he would prepare the slideshow, and now they just bypass me. Brooke gives him the information, And then normally in the last couple of years, I'll at least review it and go over it. And this year I was like, well, didn't have time for that. So
Yep.
we're all going to learn what's on the slideshow together. And then sure as shit, midway through, they project a giant penis on the board. I'm just kidding. That's
no.
a lie.
I was gonna say, you ever watch Impractical Jokers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they like create slideshows for each other, and
it's
then
the
they have to.
best.
Oh, they have
that's
to
what it
present it.
reminds me of.
It was a great opportunity for him this year
To mess with you.
to mess
for sure.
with me. And he did not take it, and I respect him for
Yeah,
that.
good for him.
I appreciate it.
That's
Well,
hard to not do.
Listen, there's spouses there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's not a serious event because no event I'm at is serious, but
Don't want to offend anybody.
yeah, we're with spouses and significant others. Anyway, shout out to them and my team. Really enjoyed that. So, and I know a lot of them listen. I love you all.
Looked like
Thank
a
you.
good time.
Yeah, it was fun. It's always fun. It was, yeah, we drink. We do it big. We do an open bar every year.
Was it in Omaha or Sioux City?
Lincoln.
This year we had in Lincoln. Yep. So we went from, we did 1 year at the Hole in the Wall a few years ago. And then before that, we did in Sioux City. Last year, doing in Omaha. This year, we
Do a
did it
little
in
rotation.
Lincoln. Yeah, just a little rotation, kind of give everyone a chance to not have to travel. Because we've got, the whole state of Nebraska basically covered. So,
Fuck Carney.
yeah, next year we'll probably have it in Kearney. Kearney's got a really great.
They do.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Elephant Eye freaking. We used to have training there all the time.
The Elephant Eye.
It's like a hotel bar.
I never
I think
even
it's at,
heard
like
of it.
the Ramada or something. I
Oh,
forget the hotel.
The Ramada, the dirty Ramada. Yeah, they flooded. Didn't get it restored.
Not the one right off the interstate. Is that the one right off the interstate?
Oh, I don't know. So the Eunice family, Paul Eunice, owns that whole complex right off, and factually, that the Eunice Conference Center, it's got 7 or 8 hotels now. Right there is the largest hotel and convention center between Denver and Chicago. So it's
Really?
huge. Yeah, Kearney. That guy's blowing up Kearney. Yeah, it's really cool. We actually just bought a piece of land right across the street from it, and there's a little Serpro building on it now. And
You did?
yeah. Oh,
That's pretty
you
cool.
didn't know that, huh?
Nope. Had
News
no
to you.
clue.
Yeah, we've got, I forget how many acres, but it's probably 5, maybe. I think somewhere around there, maybe 4.5, 4 and change, maybe 5. I don't know. Anyway, it had a building on it. We converted that quickly into like a Servpro shop and a warehouse and a building. And then I think the plan is to put one of the distillery locations.
That's in addition
right
to
there.
the building you already had, or you moved buildings?
No, we were leasing a space and then we
that
bought.
ran out.
Yep. I've got something to talk about today. But
Jumping right into that, huh?
no, we should probably wait on that.
You think?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Babe, you got anything to talk about?
Oh,
Oh,
Took me by surprise there.
off guard.
I know what I want to talk about first. We had Casper Bauer on the show.
Yeah,
That was cool.
dude, that was an awesome show.
Did you listen to it or
I
watch
did.
it? You
I
did? What'd you
Yeah.
think?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah?
Very, very valuable information. to
Yeah.
know.
Smart dude.
Smart dude. A lot of good information. Yeah, he's been at it a long time. He's he's a professional athlete.
Since
He's a professional in his
2009.
field.
Oh, no. Sports.
Yeah. He's been in the industry a long time. And yeah, he was at the top of the game.
Yeah.
Something I really liked about that episode, I think it was very motivational too. Perfect time. I know people that start the new year off with resolutions, but you got to start somewhere. And I think that was the perfect time for that, for anyone who needs it for motivation.
I agree. And he also gave us a lot of really good entry level. So if you haven't watched it, go back to the last episode, check it out. If you got a New Year's resolution, I got 2 things for you. Number 1, check out that episode because certainly it involves health and wellness. And if your resolutions don't involve health and wellness, then you don't know where to start. Go back and listen to that episode and start there. Because your health and wellness and your state of mind, your frame of mind, your clarity in your mind will certainly serve whatever other resolutions you have, number 1. And 2, he gave us some really good like entry level information on where to start, what to eat, nutrition wise, supplements, macronutrients, as well as sort of the process of getting into easing your way into fitness aspect. So he touched on wellness. He also touched on the nutrition and fitness. And as always, freedom. He's a freedom fighter. So
Faith too. He's a big faith guy. I love
and
that.
of course, so I think at some point we're going to have to add faith into the intro. I mean, you think about what we talk about and who our guests are. It's probably more faith than anything.
We should just add all the F words, like fitness and fantasy football.
Ooh.
Dude, fantasy football's not going to make it.
Fired.
You think? You don't think?
Fire, yeah. Fantasy football and you're fired. How's that? Yeah.
That is an F word.
That is an F word.
Yeah,
Fits right
you walked
into your.
that.
Yeah.
You walked into
Fits
that.
right. Good those Lindy.
He said it though.
Call.
I got a job, right?
That's right. So anyway, yeah, Casper Bauer did awesome. He was a good guest. Made us all sound super smart. Also an entrepreneur, faith leader.
I will say we've knocked it out of the park with guests so far. I will say.
Toot toot.
You would say that.
And I had nothing to do with either one of them. So
So since that episode, we've had New Year's has come and gone. Lot of talk on resolution, a lot of talk on goals. I've had a lot of people reach out to me as far as setting goals, asking for listeners and others. And one thing I want to say, in addition to go back and listen to Casper Bauer episode, is make sure, and I touched on it on an episode prior. I touch on it all the time, but make sure you're working on process goals. Make sure you're working on daily goals that feed your big goal. Oftentimes people stop right there. They forget, or they just don't know. We talked about it, and you were like, people don't know how to do that. There's like, hey, I'm going to do, one of our friends, Cayenne, she posted something about
badass in her own right.
Yeah, absolutely. Soldier also, and loves her little fitness. She's doing her damn thing. But she posted something about her goals, and I was just scrolling through. I'm like, I'm going to tap a little reminder on her, and she was like, dude, thanks, appreciate that. Wasn't thinking about that. I'm going to do that. But whatever you do, you have the big goal. You got a backwards plan from there, and you got to turn it into small daily goals,
Dude,
non-negotiables.
I think Kyle said it best.
What did he
It
say?
really resonated with me is the non-negotiables.
Yeah, non-negotiables.
Yeah, just have non-negotiables. Like, whatever it is, each day have things that are, this is going to happen, or on the flip side, not going to happen. Like, I'm not going to have these things, but things that you're going to do every day, and then don't compromise.
Yeah, bro.
If that's what you tell yourself you're going to do, freaking do it.
Every successful person and everyone with any sort of plan, goal-setting strategy has their version of the non-negotiables. So Kyle calls them the non-negotiables. Others do. The big three, the WIGs, the wildly important goals. Frisella, dude, the power list.
Speaking of Frisella, did you listen to his New Year's resolution episode?
No.
It was a like 12-minute episode or something like that.
Oh, those are my favorite because he goes hard.
The one thing that should be your everybody's New Year's resolution, you only need to do one thing.
Oh.
Be more disciplined. End of story.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to a short clip from Goggins talking about discipline.
I mean, he'll make you want to run through a wall.
Dude, he said something that was the dopest shit. I knew I was going to kick that
You
shit
did
over. That
kick it
didn't
over.
take long. Oh, and I even have the lid on it. Oh, well, should have kept it on the table. Anyway, Goggins, dude, he said something that kind of resonated with me. These guys put shit into just better words than I do. Oftentimes, I feel like they're stealing from my mind and then articulating them like artists.
Flawlessly.
Yeah.
That's how I feel
Like
when I hang
little
out with you
songbirds.
sometimes. So.
Me
Oh, really?
Same.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Compliment. But what he said was, oftentimes people, Lindy and I just had a similar conversation. You'll remember it was a day ago or 2 days ago, is that people, they stop at whatever their natural abilities are. They stop at whatever their gift is, whatever their talent level is. So, I do this, I do that. And then once they reach whatever their talent level is, they're like, well, that's all I can do. They don't understand that things like discipline are a muscle. And we talked about it. Lindy said, I wish I was a morning person. And I was like, nobody's a fucking morning person.
Right.
A morning person is someone that's like, once they get up, they're in a good mood. But like tired people need to sleep no matter if you're a morning person or not. Like nobody's a morning person. There's disciplined people and there's undisciplined people. Disciplined people wake up in the morning and it's one of their non-negotiables. It's one of their big three or their wildly important goals or whatever it is until it builds that habit, which is discipline. I haven't listened to it, but I'm not surprised if Priscilla is basically saying, dude, you make goals and then you don't set them or you don't stick to them. I'm going back a step further than that. I truly believe most people have no fucking idea how to set and then achieve goals. They skip a step.
Right.
They skip the step of planning and turning that big goal into daily action items.
And I mean, and part of that, the problem with that is some people don't even know what a goal should be or what they even want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lindy. True.
But one of the cool things, and then we'll stop talking about Kyle since we did just have an episode on it. But one of the things that
you're back to talking about Kyle again, you jock
we've
rider.
kind of
you
been-
love you some Casper Bauer.
I do like it.
The
He's a
moment
cool
he
dude.
got on, go back and watch the moment that camera started rolling. Zach was like,
did I like sorry eyes?
he's like, I got questions for you. Can you tell me
I
about
do.
fitness?
But when he mentioned training at or near your maximum capacity, because how many people?
Oh, yeah.
I myself show up to the gym, lift some weights, get on the treadmill a little
Yeah,
bit.
for sure.
But are you pushing yourself? Like, are
Yeah.
you training at or near your capacity? Which I don't. And that, I mean, kind of resonated. I'm like, man, I need to push myself harder daily
Yeah,
and not just show up and go through the motions. Because
for sure.
are you getting worse? Maybe not. But are you getting better?
It goes back to coach. I mean, he's a coach. They're coaches. Accountability, having somebody push you. I mean, it's the same thing in the business world, same thing everyone else. Having a mentor, somebody else for accountability to be kind of your outside looking in. Like, hey, Lindy's the worst. She's super strong, and she doesn't even never pushes to her ceiling, never, because she doesn't even realize how strong she is, not only in physical strength, but mental strength. And then all of a sudden she can up and lace her boots up and go run 10 miles without stopping while I've been training for 6 straight months. And then she finishes like 45 seconds behind me. Dirty dog. But mentally and physically strong. But sometimes everybody just needs someone to say, hey, man, I think you could do more. And he's really good at that. That's why I find in a fitness coach, group training, it's affordable, but you still get leadership and mentorship. I believe in it. Anyway, moving along. What are we moving along to? Oh, the goals. We talked about goals. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So
Your book.
thank you all for watching. No, I'm kidding, man. We're not in it. You want to talk about the book? All right, let's talk about the book. So
The book's an interesting topic for sure.
what do you want to talk about? I feel like you guys should talk about something. All right, how about you talk about the book? All right, I'm going to read.
I have only read passages.
All right, so I'm going to give a small. All right, so this is an intro into a topic of purpose. So many people, so many. It's got to be at least 5. I'm just kidding. Literally hundreds, if not more, have come to me in either in person or on text or message or comments and want to know what protect your purpose means. So I'm going to give a short lesson on that. And by short, I mean we'll see how fucking short this actually is. A family member that will be remain unnamed, sent this. I'm sure they meant nothing but good intentions for my children when they sent it. But for Christmas, they sent my boys a book. The book is entitled, please do not buy this book and support this pederass of an author, by the way. But I'm going to say the book anyway. Boys will be boys, but it crosses out boys and says human. So the title of the book is Boys Will Be Human.
And what age is that book recommended for?
So on the back, it says this book is age appropriate for ages 11 and up, which is perfect because I have an 11-year-old and I have a fresh 13-year-old.
But immediately taking away gender identity with the
Title of the
title of the book.
You don't have to look very far to know what this book is. So you look at it and you go, all right, well, we're definitely going to be reducing boys down to genderless, soulless, purposeless little individuals that will, hopefully someday be little laborers with no individual identity. And other than that, there's some other master assumptions we can make on the book, but let's jump right in. I'm going to jump right to the page that my boys had memorized, who walked downstairs with a ghost white look on their face and said, Dad, we were given this book from such and such, and it is inappropriate. And I was like, I was laying with Cora, trying to get her to...
One, I'm impressed your boys were even reading.
Yeah, right. They're on their little program, too.
But even they were uncomfortable reading it.
Exactly.
Of course. Two teenage boys were uncomfortable. That's how perverted this book is. But, and I use the word perverted in all aspects, all definitions of the word. But here's what they said. Dad, turn to page 228. It says the P word. And I'm like, the P word? Like what, penis or put what? I won't say that on air, but
right,
because YouTube's got guidelines. Not like the Wild Wild West on Spotify. We can say whatever. I'm just kidding. We can say fart on Spotify. We might even have gotten away with the midget joke on Spotify, Ian. You might not have had to cut that out. Anyhow, the boys are like, hey, Dad, the P word's in it. I'm like, what? What do you... Go to page 228. They got the page dialed in. No problem. I go to it, and here it is in big, bold letters. The porn in your pocket. I'm going to read just this paragraph. It'll be the only thing I read from this book. But before I read it, I want you to think about it from this perspective. This is how you manipulate and groom children. And this is how you manipulate parents into believing you're doing something good for the child. And you can take this across all aspects of propaganda. They intertwine like undeniable truths with their opinions that are sick and twisted or in many cases often. And they turn it into an instruction manual. So you watch, it starts off with an undeniable truth or an unarguable truth. And then it ends with a similar truth. But all in the middle, they spin it into this. It's basically an instruction manual for 11-year-olds. Raise your hand if you have an 11-year-old at home, okay? Or a 10-year-old that's a little mature, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe a 12-year-old that acts like a 7-year-old, okay? But for the parents out here, because if you have children, I've said this on past shows, if you have children, odds are like they're your purpose or at least one of them. If not, you're probably a bad parent.
One of your purposes, not one of your kids is your purpose.
One of my kids, yes, one of your purposes.
I was going to say that.
Right.
At least one of your kids
At
is
least
your
one of your
purpose.
kids is a purpose. No, at least one of your purpose. All right, I'll jump to it. So here's the little blip that I'm going to read out of this.
I actually want to hear this.
The porn in your pocket is what this section of the book is called. Part of the problem is how sex reaches us today, that it is readily available through our phones. Right?
Undeniable truth.
Undeniable truth. We can obviously all agree on that. Ready? Here comes the instructions, children. Not only do smartphones give us access to countless pornographic websites, so now my kids are going, they referred to the word porn as the P word. They wouldn't even say the word. And now, in their brains, they know they can go to websites on their phone to view pornographic materials, which I'm certain they're not into right now. We monitor their phones. They don't even want to see the P word. It embarrassed them. It made them scared or nervous. Anyhow, not only do smartphones give us access to countless pornographic websites, but phone cameras allow us to take nude photos and send them to one another. Whether it's sexting, sending sexual messages or fantasies, or taking nude pictures, we not only have the ability to communicate sexually with someone at a moment's notice, but sometimes it feels like we are expected to and expect our crushes or partners to. Kids, you are expected to send your partner your crush. Just so you know, like the kids refer to their little girls and boys as crushes. It's what they call, like out loud.
Right.
It's their words. This twisted author, grown-ass man, took these kids' languages, anyway, and interpreted it into an instruction manual for them. And then it ends, this paragraph. And this, in turn, creates a lot of unhealthy behavior. Thank you.
I'd say so.
Thank you, Mr. Justin Baldoni, you twisted fuck. I appreciate you putting out a book. Matter of fact, there's another spot. You know what? I'll spare everyone. There's another spot in the book, and there's a lot of them. It's littered with it. All the way from...
Did they get all the way to that page, though, through the book? Or are they just kind of skimming?
They got to it one way or another.
Yeah.
I don't think they read every word of the book because I went back and referenced another one.
They
and
would have came at
weren't.
you sooner.
Right. But, I mean, they got far enough into it. I mean, it literally talks about how masculinity is a thing of the past, their definition of sex versus gender. Like, it's a total propaganda book. Yep. A thought or two on gender. Thank you. There's another part of the book where the author, who again, his name is Justin Baldoni, and explains in his writing that he is writing this from a perspective of an adult straight male. So if this doesn't resonate with you, feel free to look at it from whatever perspective you're looking at it.
You mean an adult straight human?
Whatever. Right. How dare you call yourself? How dare you assume your own gender, sir? You're still young enough to change it.
He told a story about himself when he was in middle school about how he got an erection. Like, he made it to where kids will visualize what actually happened. And that is...
Dude, he tells a detailed
Very
account
detailed.
of his own erections.
So to kind of just piggyback on your point is they mask it with, this book is helpful. Like, we're teaching your kids about their bodies and their thing, you know,
Like
while
anything,
at the same
bro.
time adding the propaganda piece. Like you said, it literally, as you said, detailed instructions on
Right.
sending nude photos, looking up pornographic material.
Yeah.
In between, you know, a life lesson.
Yeah. in between some a truth sandwich.
Yeah.
Well, then that's also on top of the whole idea of the book is getting rid of gender identities and
From jump, bro.
From the
Literally,
title.
From the title on through the entire book.
masculinity is a thing of the past. I mean, that
Yep.
whole book is propaganda.
Yep. Cites a reference on how the alpha male in a pack of
that's all a
wolves
myth.
is all a myth. Meanwhile, I just was on a trip where we went dog sledding, and
Definitely not a myth.
I can tell you right now, there's alphas in the fucking pack, and you can talk to the people who literally live, eat, breathe, like they live for their animals. They live for their dogs, and they will tell you which ones are alphas, which ones are not, their behaviors. They know them like humans know their children's behaviors, and the way they describe them is that one's an alpha, and this guy's got some bullshit. Again, here's what they also do. Propaganda machine, bro. Someone publishes something, they recite that published work and present it as if it's a fact, and then point to, reference the bullshit propaganda that was produced. That's how they do it. And this is across, again, all aspects. And I'll hop real quick into purpose. And I want to know what your thoughts are, and your thoughts as a mom are about your boys not being boys anymore. They're humans. This is what they do. They put a little bit of truth, sprinkle a little truth in there, and then smash it up with a whole bunch of bullshit propaganda, opinions, present it as if it's truth, okay? And trick parents. That's why I don't know if who sent this. Again, I'm sure Lindy went and read the reviews on this, and they're rave reviews. Excellent. Oh, amazing. Blah, blah, blah. Right. Maybe the parent didn't read the part about the adult's recognition or detailed fucking recall of childhood boners. Or maybe they just were fooled by the first and last sentence. Maybe they think that they were helping their child break through. But this is how propaganda, this is how they take your kids and twist their minds, feed them bullshit to get them at a young age on their little cell phone devices that we're all guilty of giving our kids to, or giving them to our kids. But this is how they normalize sending dick pics, sending naked pictures, sending sexting, looking up pornography. This is how they get young kids addicted to porn.
Because now they think it's expected.
Well,
Because the book told them it's
Book told
expected.
them
well,
it's
I mean,
expected.
odds are that's probably some of the first time anyone's even heard the word sexting is the person reading that book.
Exactly.
Of course.
Mom,
Yeah.
Dad, what is sexting?
Kid doesn't
What do you
know.
mean
Yeah.
what's sexting? Oh, it was in this book.
Right.
Exactly. They use the lingo of a 14, 15, 16-year-old.
Right. Dude,
It's
this is how it's done.
Disgusting.
And these are things, and I can go off on a tear, but my point on this whole thing is people have asked me, what does protect your purpose mean? It's difficult for me to describe without going into stories, without going into, someday I'll come up with some fucking blanket tagline that people can understand and really, chop it down, and then they can make their, own interpretation of it. But this is one of many. My children are my purpose. Someone else is literally working against me to take over control of the minds of my purpose. And it is my responsibility as an adult and as someone who has vowed to protect the freedom and the minds of my purpose, my children, to protect. How do we do this? First, we must understand what is happening. We must understand that the attacks are in disguise. The attacks are under a false.
Balenciaga ads,
Dude,
books.
You have to
everything.
look. You have to dig deep. You can't be like, yeah, get it. Oh, that's it. That's its last pour. It's
I got
going to
tiny little
smash.
baby hands.
You have to understand and then relentlessly dig into your children's stuff. Relentlessly go sit down and play the game with them. Read the book with them. Get what they're interested in.
Watch the movie with them.
If for no other reason to understand what they're consuming, because I promise you, some teacher in their school is giving this book out. I had my boys go today. Both of them went and dug through their library catalog to see if they can find the book.
Oh, good call.
Yeah. But shout out to the school. It was not in there. At least they didn't find it. I told them to look again because it might be at some point, if not already. But dig deep, because I promise you, a teacher thinks they're not trying. They're indoctrinated too. They don't even know. They're just trying to be good little humans.
If you look at the book,
Of course.
it appears as if they're trying to have a good intention behind
Of course.
it.
That's how propaganda comes off, and it's our job as parents, as adults, to protect our children and protect our purpose. This is
Identify.
one of the millions of ways we're to protect our purpose. One of the ways is by exercising our right to bear arms, our Second Amendment right. Anyway, what were you going to say?
You actually kind of touched base on it.
Fuck. I'm sorry. I should have let you take it.
No. You were on a tangent, and I love it. But just being more present, like you said, watching what they consume, seeing what they're consuming. Because there'll be times, my daughter's almost 6, and they love like the YouTube shorts
Sure.
and just flip through. And there's some channels that you like, it'll randomly come up and be like talking about like domestic abuse and like, and these are like kids' channels.
Yeah,
just
get
random
the
things
fuck.
like that. I'm like, what is going on? So we're making a conscious effort to put them on that less, and obviously be more present with them and spend more time with them, because every parent is guilty, man.
Yep. And
You
no
just-
judgment on that.
Yeah, no, none.
Yep.
It's hard.
100%. It's very hard
Yep.
when your kids are freaking annoying
Yeah.
and everyone's driving you crazy. You're like, just go watch something on TV or watch your iPad, But we're trying to make a conscious effort to not have that be our default and just spend more time with them and hang out with them and be more present.
Not to mention how hard it is just because we're busy as parents. We're living in a fast-paced world, faster than ever in the history of the world. We are moving at faster paces, accomplishing more in less time, and a technology world. Not to mention, it's hard for us to give, as parents, to do that and make sure we give a pointed effort at protecting them. Also, simultaneously, the largest propaganda campaign in the history of the world, a global campaign, has been launched. Over the last 10 years, it's everywhere. It's in disguise. It's in the school systems. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube Kids. It's everywhere because people have no idea that this book is written with the intent of
Grooming our children.
God. They don't even know. They don't even get it. I had a message today I posted something about it from one of our friends. And she was like, God, why are people so like how could someone do this? How do they think this is right? And I was like, well, do you want to know the answer?
And yeah, go ahead.
And she said yes. And I kind of already touched on the answer, but I was like, well, if you want to know the answer, you have to reserve judgment because I understand that I run the risk of sounding absolutely fucking nutty. But it's because people don't understand. Because there is a mass global campaign, a 50-year plan that we are deep into right now that literally has everybody convinced, not everybody, most people convinced that this is normal. This is supposed to be right. They don't understand what's happening to the kids. And if they don't understand it, how could they protect against it? Which, again, is why we started the show.
And kudos to your kids for understanding it was inappropriate. Because had they not told you, and this isn't a dig at you, but had they not told you, they would have read the whole book and, all of a sudden they're on their phones looking up shit or snapping pictures,
Dude, it's a family member.
How many other kids?
It's a family member.
He told the boys several times yesterday, hey, good job.
Super proud of you for bringing this awkward ass shit, this adult man boner book to your dad. If I was a kid, I probably would have been like, hey,
so
man, let's ditch this book.
To what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Give your family member a pass. They probably looked at the reviews, and thought this would be a great book for my nephews to read. And then I highly doubt they read through the book. And had they, maybe they would have made a different decision. But
I don't know, man. It's hard to say.
We'll never know.
Yep,
we'll never
know. It's hard to say, but I will tell you, this is a prime example of how they are trying to groom children under the guise of helping them through. I promised I wouldn't read anymore. Helping them through the most awkward time of their life. I forget where it was, but somewhere.
What's that line say right there?
Oh, the warning label that comes on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they didn't have to read far.
Warning, this might be the most honest book you've ever read.
Honest meaning you might have a grown man tell your kids about his boner. Yeah. So pay attention to what you got going on. Protect your purpose, people. This is one of those things, and it isn't what it seems. And I'm telling you right fucking now.
Justin Baloney. Am I right?
Baldoni. Listen here, Justin Baloney. Phony baloney, you fuck. You little groomer. You little perverted, twisted groomer, you.
Author of Man Enough.
Yeah. I checked that out too.
I
haven't ordered the book because I refuse to support him. I didn't even want to Google it.
Is man one line that says human? Human enough?
This is probably saying it's all right not to have testosterone and not be an alpha male.
Dude,
you are man enough.
Yeah, it says it's so
it has WO in front of it.
Whoa, man. Yeah, whoa,
man.
man. Yeah. Listen,
it's unfortunate.
Just for the record, they're trying, just so everyone understands what's happening, they're trying to take away kids' identities. Okay? That's what this whole push is about. They're trying to, first of all, masculine men are men to be feared. Okay? Masculine men are the ones that lead revolutions. Masculine men are the ones that fight in the front lines on war. We've got soldiers that are females in the Army. We've got soldiers that are females in the Marine Corps. You know what they don't do? They don't fight on the front lines. Masculine men fight wars. Masculine men lead revolutions. Masculine men are the ones that are hard to control. So if you were in a position to where you wanted to control men, what kind of man would you want?
Submissive.
Definitely not a masculine man.
Right.
You'd want a more feminine, a more
soft,
womanly, soft, obedient man. Right.
Why do I feel like he's taking shots directly at me?
Well, I'm not saying that you're feminine. I'm just saying you maybe have low T.
Maybe get more calluses.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe you need a callus. No. Yeah. There's a reason why they're printing books, and then all of the reviews are amazing magically on Amazon, communist Amazon. That all of the reviews are wonderful.
And if you understand that it's a slow play,
right,
it makes more sense. Mm-hmm. Like, this is years in the making.
Years, dude.
This hasn't been just something that popped up overnight.
50 years.
Years in the making, with the food pyramids, with the
Of course.
everything, dude.
Kyle, we
Like,
talked about that last episode.
yeah, like how big of a crock of shit that was. You know, it's just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
How far back, if you think about it.
For sure. Listen, man, it's incredible. It's incredible to think, and that's what I answered to our friend Deanna. Was the bigger the lie, the easier it is to get passed through, because it becomes a point where it's so unbelievable that people just refuse. They're like,
Yeah, exactly.
You think they've been planning this for 50 years? Yes. Not I think I know.
Like,
they told us they
You
were
think the
planning it.
government and big pharma and all
Yep.
these big tech are all colluding again? Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, I do. And if they take away
100%.
another part of that, which we've touched on in the past as well, is taking away individual kids in the book. Go figure. All in this one little book from my boys. It touches on taking away their identity. Of course, it doesn't say that. It says it in its own little word, that we're all humans. We're not boys. Why? Because boys provide boys, little kids, individual identity. I'm a boy. I'm a proud boy. I'm a proud girl. What are they trying to do? They're trying to reduce, it says it right on the front, trying to reduce us all down to humans. Why? Because humans don't have identities. People with identity have no purpose. Nationalism. I'm an American. Why do you think they're saying don't be racist? You're a human. We're all humans. Open those borders. Those people from Guatemala are humans too. They're trying to reduce us all down to humans and take away our purpose, because purpose provides us freedom. Same thing with faith. We talked about that again on our last few episodes.
Fitness.
Of course, they want to take away our purpose, because purposeless people are easy to control. They're sick. Listen, I can go on for fucking 3 or 4 hours on this. We're an hour into we're not an hour, but we're 45 minutes into this show, and I haven't shut up. What do you guys want to talk about?
No, that's
You got
great,
anything you want to talk about, bro?
I wanted your opinion on another thing.
We don't have any time left because I went on a tear on the fucking book. But hey, for all you people asking
was
about my
needed.
post, there it
Very
is.
informative.
Yeah.
Did you pay attention, though? Did you pay attention to the shenanigans in Congress recently with the Speaker of the House situation?
I haven't.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's political theater. First of all, they're all They're all actors. Okay.
That is honestly, no bullshit, dude. That is the first thing that came to my
Bullshit.
mind. Like, everybody has a part to play.
Yep. When you start looking,
Can you trust any of them?
bro? I'm so happy that you could see that. When you start
It's so weird, dude. The first thing I
seeing
thought.
that, you're getting it. Once you start when you start looking at shows on TVs and seeing, like, when you can predict what's going to happen, like you can in a movie or a sitcom, and then you get to be like, of course the guy fucking survives at the end.
Right.
Of course they finally flipped and they turned.
Of course, they
Of
finally
course
voted
he's
him.
in the seat. Right. You start to wonder, wait a second.
Of course, there was drama behind, and it took 8 to 10 times, and more people are
Of
divided.
course, there was almost a fight.
Of
on
course
Congress
the
floor.
ratings for news are up because there's drama. Right.
Did you guys see
So the
lip
question
reading?
is, do you, yeah, I said
Yeah,
it
the
to
bad
you.
lip reading.
I
Oh, yeah, you
it.
said it. That's why we all saw it. That was good. That was awesome.
Those are always hilarious. But
So,
do you think anybody in the House of Representatives? There's got to be some, right?
it's really hard to tell, bro. It's hard to tell who's
Do you
who.
think any of the concessions were real? Did you hear any of them? I had a list, some of the list of them.
I heard.
So the concessions,
Yeah, let's hear
or
it.
the things McCarthy had to agree to get voted by the, what was it, handful that were,
Yeah.
just throwing out random
Boebert.
votes.
Gates.
Gates
And a
was
few-
the biggest one, obviously. Yeah. It will take only a single congressperson acting in what is known as the Jeffersonian motion, to remove the speaker if he or she goes back on their word or policy agenda. Term limits.
Ooh. I don't know what that is, but that's fucking awesome if that's real.
Can you look up the Jeffersonian motion if you have a obviously
I got nothing
If you have
but
a second. Yeah,
nothing but time.
if you have a second, do that.
term limits up for a vote. A church-style committee will be convened to look into the weaponization of the FBI and other government organizations. Texas border plan will be put before Congress. COVID mandates will be ended, as will all funding for them. There's a couple more, but budget bills. I think they made. Oh, this one. Bills presented to Congress will be single subject and will be a 72-hour minimum period to read them. Because you know how bills, like, they
Dude,
fucking
they
throw
jam
20
it.
things, and then
Yep.
the one thing they really want to get through is, like, right there in the middle, so
Yep.
you don't fucking pay attention
There's a
to
term
it.
for it. They're called they're called somethings that they sneak into bills. They're little additional riders in every bill.
The question is, like, McCarthy's a fucking snake to begin with. in
He's a
my
rhino.
opinion.
He is the swamp.
Yes. I was just going to say, it's so hard, man. Like, he was getting voted in, or a Democrat was. So, is this a win? Are these concessions a win?
I can tell you right now, you look at the people that endorsed him early on,
Trump?
there you go, bro. So, do we trust Trump?
That-
Trump's whole fucking campaign, the guy got elected on the false premise of draining the swamp. What swamp did he drain? None. He didn't drain any
Which
of
one
them.
did he support?
He might have filled it up.
The people that he has the ability to appoint were all swamp creatures. Okay? So, all you Trump lovers out there, hey man, I got it, but it's time we ask for accountability from this dude. He is the vaccine god. We know this. Okay? I've been saying this shit for years. And that's a big misconception about me that, you know, I try and keep the peace and I try and avoid the conversation because it never ends well. And then I end up embarrassing everyone and we end up people leaving dinner and fucking.
Thanksgiving dinner gets ruined.
Not even Thanksgiving, like just a dinner, just dinner.
They're not even finishing their glass of whiskey with you.
No, we don't even get invited to Thanksgiving dinner anymore because those are too precious and they know I'm going to fuck those up. But it's not only these goofy Biden fake voters. It's not even all that. It's the Trump conversation that I just have to put my head down and duck away from.
Because they think you're a mega extremist.
I believe the MAGA movement. For years, I didn't trust it. I did think he was a great president as far as outcomes. I think his positions on many things, you know, boosted our economy. I think a lot of things for businesses. I think a lot of things are moving in the right direction. Greatest economy. You know, he did great. But then your president, Donald J. Trump, rolled out the Great Reset. More of the Great Reset than any president ever in history did. He is the one with all of the draconian he is the one who put us on lockdown. Mm-hmm. He's the one who shut down churches. He's the one who had Anthony Fauci traipsing across the stage telling everyone lies. He's the one who didn't take a stand. He's the one who it was the man behind Operation Warp Speed. He's still saying that those fucking vaccines are the greatest accomplishment of mankind. He's still saying that. People are dropping fucking dead. There goes our views.
Oh, fuck.
There it goes. I did it. He's still saying it. People are dropping dead, and this fucking guy is still endorsing this big pharma bullshit that he gets their money
Oh, he's making some
just
money
like
off
everybody else. So I digress, but I can tell you this, it's very difficult. And you can look at, I don't trust Marjorie Taylor Greene.
that. Oh, no. She's a snake. Crenshaw?
I don't trust
that,
Crenshaw. Anyone who with an early vote for this guy, early vote specifically, I
Side
can tell
note.
you is a swamp creature.
Side note, I don't know how true this was, dude, but on Twitter I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene must have used a Dr. Dre song in one of her ads or something like that, and she got a letter from his attorneys saying she can't use the fucking song.
Oh,
like,
that's great.
Like she didn't have copyright.
She
it was
just
a copyright
dropped it.
infringement
Yeah.
and all this. I
Come
thought that was
on,
hilarious.
Marjorie.
I actually retweeted and I said she must have forgot about Dre.
Dude. Oh, that's great. That's
I
perfect.
thought it was good.
I think so. She forgot about Dre. So
Crenshaw's a fucking snake. I was reading shit on him. Everybody was giving him like, wow, the quickest fucking flip in the history of fucking swamp.
what
Like,
a bitch. He's such a bitch. But listen,
I think there's still some good ones in there though.
it's almost impossible. But listen, this is
It's hard
intentional.
to believe that,
right?
Yeah.
They've spun.
They can't all be on the same side.
Dude, this is the largest mass information psychological warfare campaign ever launched on the entire world, all at one time. Of course, it's hard to understand. Even people that clearly understand it have a hard time understanding it because They make it so you can't understand it, so they can deliver information. And once they destroy what reality is, versus once they knock down the walls of truth, and they say that men can have babies, and that women aren't really women, and that once they literally change the definition of words that we've known for hundreds of years, now what's real? Well, it doesn't matter because we've taken away the definition of words. Of course it's difficult to understand. You have to really be sharp, really pay attention. But most importantly, what we need to understand is that if you can just understand that it isn't what they're saying it is, that's step one. Like, stop believing the bullshit. Stop believing it. Start looking at things through an objective lens. Start questioning shit.
Right.
As long as you start questioning shit, and I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Joe Biden, the hollow head mashed potato brain puppet that he is, or Mr. Conservative, who is also a Democrat not long ago, and who also takes donations from Big Pharma, and who also rolled out the greatest mass portion of the Great Reset in the history of all presidents. Also, who is still saying shit like that. He hasn't even said, you know what? I was duped by Anthony Fauci. Instead, he just takes a full...
in.
Oh, yeah.
Well, his ego could have an issue with that, too.
At this point, maybe, but it's so hard to believe that.
Dude, it's crazy. It's unbelievable, dude.
Ego, bro?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Marjorie Taylor Greene. So here's another thing. So a while back, probably 6 or 8 months ago, could have even been a year ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene was out with a cameraman, okay? This is a congressperson.
Republican.
A Republican. Okay. Trump's people.
Mm-hmm.
All of the money and resources in the world. Literally, she has funding for anything she wants to produce. Hey, President Trump, DT, as you'll see on her little phone screen. Hey, DT, I need $10,000. No, I need $50,000. You know what? Make it $100,000 because I'm going to produce a documentary. I need camera people. I need high quality equipment. I need all of this because I'm going to go get those January 6th prisoners exposed for what's happening and freed. Donald Trump's writing a check, right? If this is all real, assuming that they're not a part of the problem. Donald Trump's stroking a $100,000 check and he isn't thinking twice about it. He's saying, here you go, Marjorie, go get him, girl. Do you. Instead, here's Marjorie Taylor Greene walking around with this bootleg ass looking camera phone, shaky cam, made to look like it's just her and a camera phone. Okay, with a cameraman, with a team, but the team is doing a really, really, really shitty, almost intentionally shitty job. And I'm going, remember the Blair Witch Project?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, that's what it reminded me of. It's like Blair Witch-esque, total bullshit. And then she goes and she's knocking on the door of the prison where they are. Free these people. They didn't do anything wrong. They have rights. These are prisoners. All they did was speak out. Again, remember the book? She's giving the truth, okay? The truth wrapped in a whole bunch of... Yep, the fucking truth sandwich. And what she's doing is giving an instruction manual. If you speak out, if you protest, if you revolt, if you go against the agenda, this is what will happen to you. What's the message?
And making it look like she's trying to get them out.
Correct, because they all make it look like they're not trying to fuck with you. And I recognized it immediately. I remember showing you the video, like, just look at this. Does this even look real?
And we all know if you knock on a prison door demanding, like, that's not. There's no result. There's no result from that.
It's ridiculous.
Nothing good can happen from that.
I'm a congressman. I demand to speak to all of the prisoners. Get the fuck out of here, MGT or MTG.
Letters.
Right. And then there's some stone cold manly lesbian.
Stand there. Just stand there.
Yep. Nope. I refuse. It's all, dude, it just looked like bad theater or intentionally bad theater, like the Blair Witch Project. Like it is literally bullshit.
I'm pretty sure that whole movie was made for under $25,000, by the way.
Yeah. It was a very cool movie. They did a really good job. I mean, and they made at the time, gazillions of dollars
I mean,
with
you're referencing
$20,000
it right now.
budget. Yeah.
30 years later.
Throwback.
Whatever.
Send me royalties. Our proud sponsor, the Blair Witch Project. The UCF graduates. I think they were UCF grads.
You know way more about that movie than I do.
I was from Central Florida, though.
Oh,
so
okay.
when it happened,
It's kind of a big deal.
don't quote me on that. Ian, if you got time, look that up. Anyway, I think the same thing here. I got another topic we can chat about quick. Tate, Andrew Tate. I think the same shit with him. I think he's a fucking...
He's a pawn.
Dude, he comes out. But nobody ever knew who this fucking dude was.
Still don't.
In 65 seconds, he's the most censored man on the internet. He's been completely canceled. And everyone's like, who's Andrew Tate? He's canceled? He's been canceled. He was canceled before he was ever
He got
a thing.
arrested?
Wait a second. So every single fucking piece of Andrew Tate content ever released is released in the last 6 months? Hold on a second. This guy went from a whopping ass nobody to the biggest censored, deplatformed on all platforms that no one ever knew he had a platform on. Okay? He's got unlimited amounts of money. Super sharp. Super witty. Almost as if he's an actor with a script. And boom! Explodes. After he got canceled and deplatformed, he got more famous than anyone ever in any amount of time.
It was pretty fast.
Fast. He's a household name now, but he's been deplatformed. And then he gets big enough, the pump. He comes out and he says, the Matrix is going to come get me because they're going to come get me because they don't like what I'm having to say because blah, 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 blah. I'm fucking Andrew Tate and I'm a Mossad. And half the shit he says, it's just enough truth, dude, to fire people up, to get behind him, support him, and say, yeah, I'm going to go say that. And then he says, they're going to kill me. They're going to arrest me. This is the script. They're going to arrest me. And here's what he's saying. Don't do this because here's what's going to happen. And then what happened? Arrested.
Got arrested.
Of course. He got it. And then recently he got released from jail and then he got attacked. What is it? What's the message? It's the same as the Marjorie Taylor Greene, same as the January 6th debacle. What's the message? If you do this, this is what will happen. We will take away your rights. We will arrest you in foreign countries. We will imprison you. We will attack you. We will beat you up. We will deplatform you. We will take away your livelihood if you go against the narrative. Is it true? I'd say it's about as true as the January 6th insurrection. So they just did it in another country too.
Brazil.
Yeah. Fake. Same shit. I saw like a snippet of it. I didn't even
They're
dig
blaming
into it.
that on Trump and everybody too. So
They should blame it on Trump because it's the exact same fucking people that are planning all of them. So they should blame it right on Trump. Whoever's blaming it on Trump is exactly right. They just have no fucking idea why they're blaming it on Trump.
right.
They're just blaming it on Trump because CNN told them to. Because they're little, those little emojis with the spiral eyes?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they are. They're those emojis. Protect your purpose on that. What did you... I wanted to come back to you, and then for now 2 topics later, I've been thinking about it. What do you think of that? And I know the answer because we obviously talked about it, but I want you to tell what your instant thoughts are when you read a grown man's recollection of boners.
Look at it from the lens of a single mother also. Like,
Sure.
I think that'd be interesting because they are probably searching for some sort of man to teach their kids, their sons, things like that, and think that maybe that is a perfect
There
way
was
to do it.
actually
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
a review that said, I am a single mom.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we read this book together.
And they're probably like, great. Oh, somebody's teaching him about being a man.
How about the Bible? Or how about church? Or how about...
Ooh, there goes our platform.
You said
You're
the
not
B
allowed
word.
to say the B word in here. Shit.
My first thought was, well, when you sent it to me, I cringed and I was like, oh my God, my poor child just read this.
Lindy's first thought was, you can get porn on your phone?
Ooh, sexting. That's
that?
a concept. Maybe we
Matt,
should
you
try
wanna
that.
sext?
Yeah, let's try that out.
And then I was irate. And then I was sick. And then, yeah. And then I got home.
You
'cause
went
that
through
was on
all
my
the
way
emotions.
home. Yeah. And then I got home and we talked more with the boys about it. And they're like, it was just really weird. And, you know.
Yeah. Great job, team. Great job, Guy. I hope you accomplished what you set out to do. You made my young preteen boys feel super awkward while you talk about your boners.
Leave that to us. Like, why is... I get there's books on that type of stuff, but that's just supposed to be talked about and learned and taught in our home, like not by some other guy
or some other family member. Like, here's some more advice for unsolicited, perhaps advice for you family members. Stay in your own lane. Raise your own kids. You got kids, raise them. Do whatever you want with them. They're yours. You don't want to protect them. You want them to read. You want Justin Boner Doney to teach your kids through
Baloney pony.
Yeah, phony baloney to fucking teach your kids about his boners, then you go right the hell ahead. But mind your own business. If you're like a grandparent or a parent or a sibling or whatever the fuck you are, don't worry about other people's kids.
Yeah,
it's none of your business.
Just love them. You don't need to teach them anything. Just love them.
You don't need to teach them shit. That's up to the parents. Teachers, also, if you want to keep your propaganda to yourself too, educate yourself from a different angle before you go in chatting up these kids, bending these kids' ears on what your opinions are. But listen, most importantly, very, very most importantly, on all of these topics that we have discussed so far, the number one thing that we must do is overpower the system. Okay? It's everywhere. Your kids are going to operate in society. There's nothing you can do about it. They need cell phones. Why? Because that's where they learn. That's where their schools are. You're on tablets. My kids get to come in. We talked about this at an earlier time too. My kids have propaganda on their school issued iPads. Hey, bro, will you open that door like all the fucking way?
I'm freezing.
Are you? Let's switch seats. I'm getting fucking heated.
I know. That's why. Your blood pressure's
I love
up.
this, Matt.
Listen here. The number one thing we have to do as parents and as friends, not even as parents, like help your friends understand this shit, is to talk about it. Okay? Talk about it. Talk about the vaccine health. Okay, remember when it was super appropriate to ask about your vaccination status? Oh, I read a meme the other day, or a GIF, or whatever the fuck they are. Remember when it was super appropriate to ask somebody about their vaccination status before they like came over for dinner?
Also, remember it was like super appropriate to ask people who they voted for? Remember when that used to be who's
You remember that? Yeah, that was super okay. And guess what? What isn't okay now? We can't ask about your vaccination status when you're a 27-year-old healthy professional athlete and you're dropping dead or coding on a football field or a soccer field or a basketball court. Yeah, ask about it. Fuck those people. Okay, forget about it. But the number one thing and number one responsibility we have as parents specifically is, I guess this could be debated, is to overpower the noise. Like, people are like, take your kids right out of public school. And I'm like, well, I'm going to take my kids out of public school probably. But make no mistake about it, I'm not worried about that because my kids they go to public school, occasionally the teachers, the curriculum, but my kids, dude, I'm not worried about some teacher overpowering my beliefs and what I am teaching my kids. Like, good luck. And if you're like me in any way in your life, choose this one. That is, pump your kids' brains full of what you want them to know relentlessly. Make it one of your non-negotiables. It's literally one of mine. Every day I have kid time, and my kid time is dedicated to spending 10 or 15 minutes with my children to teach them reality. And when I say teach them reality, what I mean is to counteract the propaganda machine.
Matt, you succeeded. I mean, they literally brought you that book and said, Dad, this is making me uncomfortable. And that's because you taught them that.
Yeah. Earlier today, what did Kaysen say? He said that podcast changed our... what was his fucking terminology? It was so awesome.
Spirits.
Changed our spirit. No, he said spirit. He said, well, that podcast was the best thing that ever happened to us.
Oh, yeah.
Which one?
This podcast.
Oh, really?
He said, this podcast was the best thing that ever happened to us. And I was like,
You guys or them?
Kaysen said that. We were all sitting at the
About
counter.
him.
All of us.
He said that about all of us. Yep.
Oh, really?
Kaysen says, this podcast is the best thing that ever happened to us. And I said, well, maybe, but why do you say that? Like, what do you mean by that? He was like, just our spirit. And I was like,
That's what he said.
and this is what he did. Like, just all of it. And I'm like, yes. And the reason why is because I believe. I tried to dive a little deeper, but I also just kind of enjoyed that moment where he was like my son talking about his feelings and the spirit, his energy that he was feeling from it. But dude, my kids feel like badasses putting on Protect Your Purpose gear. By the way, merch is out.
Speaking of that,
Speaking of
at my
apparel,
chest.
It's out. It's not being sold yet.
it's not being sold yet. We had a slowdown on the website.
you can
I'll
buy
probably
it /ask and we'll give you one.
yeah. we're not really selling. No. I'll probably just I'll probably just take orders off the website. You can just Venmo us. No, the website's not up yet. It's not
the
final
website
yet.
guy,
We've got to
right?
get SKUs loaded. It's a real pain in the ass. And I held it down. There's nothing slowing it down except for me. But the apparel came before the website because I'm a procrastinator.
Cart above the horse.
That's right. But we'll probably just take Venmos and then ship them out because there's a lot of
Cart
of
above?
people
I said cart before.
before. It's okay. We all knew what you meant, dude. So, dude, you use all
Cart
sorts of
horse.
fucked up words. You know how many times a show I want to correct you on your
Terminology.
English? Yeah, on your words.
I told you I'm not the wordsmith you are. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
I'm getting
not
there.
a wordsmith either.
One day at a time. I practice.
Anyway.
I practice in front of the mirror like Ben Tapper taught me.
Bro, my kids love putting on this sweat. Like they put on the beanie cap, Protect Your Purpose, and they just felt like badasses. They felt like fucking lions.
Speaking of which, remind me to grab Brecken a hat before we leave. He needs
Yeah,
to-
for sure. Get them. So anyway, yeah, spend time with your kids. Sure, go throw the football with them. Be a good dad, or go take them to a movie, whatever you do. When I say spend time with them, I mean literally ask them what they learned about in school, and they're gonna be like, nothing.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Probe deeper. Ask them what they're reading about. Ask them specific questions. What did your history teacher tell you today? Okay. Ask them about what you know they're teaching in the curriculum. Ask the teachers what they're teaching during that time. Quiz them, question them. My kids now are on like, oh, we would tell you if we would tell you if they brought that up. Like as soon as they do, we're going to come right home and tell you. So good luck, school system, out parenting my kids. Like it ain't going to happen. Good luck, family members. And if I tell you to be more like me in one aspect, it's that. Be relentless. And you know how many times for years my kids would sit there, Dad, okay. And I'd say, no, you're going to listen to me.
Yep.
Don't care. Put your phones down. Look me in the eyeballs. I made them listen to me for years. And now they finally get it. And now they also know how to send pornographic photos to their friends, and that it's expected for their crushes to do the same. So you're welcome, crush parents, little girls. You're welcome, parents of the little
Can you
girls.
imagine your daughter. Oh
Bro.
my God.
Oh.
All right. And 1, 2, 3.
Wait, hold on. That's it. That's it?
Well, I just
We're
thought you were
going
gonna
on
fucking-
75 minutes.
You don't have any topics?
I think that's enough for today.
Yep.
We
Come on.
We
We,
did
can't
well.
do an hour and a half?
we did well.
Well, remember we started the timer 10 minutes late, so we've been going. That timer's wrong.
All right.
And I'm freezing.
Good show.
All right, listen. Final words. Did you even talk for this whole show? Or did I just rant for
What happened?
90 minutes?
I blacked out. I
I don't know if I blacked out. All right, listen. This is an important topic. I'm glad that it trumped all the other ones that whatever the hell you had on
no
your
pun
mind.
intended.
Yeah, it trumped it. MAGA trumped them all. Most important takeaway from this thing is maybe that's what we should do. We should do takeaways. from
Protect
every
the
show.
minds of
Yeah.
your children.
It's important, man. These are our youth. This is our future. This is our kids' future. There are really some bad people. Whoever they are, there's some bad people. And even if it's just Dr. Justin Baldick, Justin Baloney Dick,
He gets a new name every time. I love it.
trying to corrupt the minds and groom your children into bullshit. If you do nothing else, Protect your children, protect their minds relentlessly. It is your obligation, is your responsibility as a parent. And if we don't start taking this seriously and looking at things through an objective lens, and recognizing acting when we see acting and manipulation, we're in for a world of pain in our future. So, as always, I guess I'll end it like this. Find your purpose, serve your purpose, and protect your purpose, people.
Boom.